Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
We're Derps and Burps, the podcast for all gamers, spiritual souls, and creative minds out there.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our third episode of our podcast, Derps and Burps. So, for the people that don't know, we obviously pre-record those episodes. So, at the point that we're recording the third episode, our first episode just came out. So, we just saw in real time your reactions. And I think both of us, Stefie and me, both want to say thank you. We got so many listeners. We got so much good feedback. So thank you so much. And we're super happy to produce this for you and have so many people obviously enjoying it. And we also just want to give a little teaser for our fourth episode because Stefie and me thought about something cool. Obviously, Valentine's Day is coming up next week. And that means we're gonna record a little relationship Valentine's Day episode for you. That's gonna be a little extra juicy. So mark it in your calendar. Don't miss it out. I think that one is gonna be a good one. But enough teasing for the next week. Obviously, today we have a really good topic for you too. And we chose the topic, what is happiness for you? So obviously 3 episodes in, we're already going super deep with the topics. That was actually one of the feedbacks that I got from a lot of people. They were like, holy moly, first episode and you're already diving deep. You got the same?
And people texted me like on Instagram. I got so many messages where they said, you already mentioned so many important things. And when I heard those things, I was so happy to hear these things from you guys. And I was like, oh my God, that means so much to us. Thank you so much that you, and I'm so happy that people like enjoy listening to it, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, for me, because in the beginning I was like, okay, what is a podcast? It has to have some kind of value, like what you say and everything. And I was like, I'm just sitting here like spitting out my thoughts, right? And I'm not sure like if people want to hear my thoughts or can relate to my thoughts or whatever. But when I saw like how people can relate and that they enjoy our point of view of life and all the things we talk about, I was like, hey, people actually enjoy like what we have to say.
Yeah,
And
same.
they can relate and everything. And that was so nice to see that you have people out there listening to your thoughts on your podcast, and they're just happy to hear that and maybe also think, hey, I'm not alone with this.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's so cool.
Exactly. And
also, can I just throw something in, Alex?
For sure.
For those people who are on Spotify, they don't see this, but I am using my Mandalorian cup today for my super good tea. I got this one from Alex for my birthday last year.
Is the tea the Teekanne Früchtetee? Did I see there?
No, it's Earl Grey.
Oh, I thought it was the.
Is it Teekanne?
I think it's
Four
the
Senses. It's Earl Grey.
Yeah, that's the 4 Senses. That's I think Teekanne. I think it's like the single packaged plastic triangle. Is it the triangle dunk?
Yes.
Yeah. I have those as well. It's my favorite tea. I'm not sure actually if that's Teekanne, to be honest. But I love those teas. They're really good. Yeah, exactly. I know those, but I think 4 Senses is from Teekanne. I'm not sure. We're gonna check out and we're gonna tell you next episode. I'm not sure. Yeah. But those I have at home as well. I have the green tea and I have the fruit tea of those. I really enjoyed it.
They are so good.
Exactly. So yeah, that is the feedback that we got so far from most of you people to our first episode at this point. And to be honest, I was a little bit worried because we chipped into so many topics, sometimes dove a little deep, then just went on to the next topic. But apparently, like really, I had a lot of good friends also reaching out. They were like, holy moly, like you went deep for that first Get to Know Us episode. And I was like, oh, really? I didn't really had that feeling that much because...
Neither had I, Julia. Like,
really?
We were just talking. Like, we were talking about the things like we always do. And it's like, okay, I don't even realize if it goes that deep, you know?
I think
like,
that's just us. It's just our like, I feel like... Yeah, exactly. When Steffi and me are talking, we dive deep. Like, I think our thing is we write each other at least once a week when there's something happening in our life that is some what other people would call a coincidence. We're always like just the universe with
The
like a sparkle image. Oh my God, Steffi, this just happened. The universe.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's our thing. We post each other that all
Yeah.
the time. But anyway, to come from what makes us happy, obviously something that makes us really happy is that you enjoy this podcast. And with that, we want to go obviously into our topic today, and that is, what is happiness for you? We would obviously love to also hear from you, maybe in the beginning of the episode. Pause it, go on YouTube, write us a comment. Even if you listen to this on Spotify, go on YouTube. You don't have to watch it again on YouTube, but just for the communication, it's pretty nice for us to have like the comments a little bit collected there. And write us before the episode, what is happiness for you? And then listen till the end of the episode when you heard us talk about all of the different parts and lights that we shined, maybe in some corners that you weren't really thinking about. Maybe, I don't know. And then write a second comment, like answer on your comment, write again if there's maybe a few more things that make you happy that you didn't think about in the beginning when you started listening. That would be something I would be interested.
Yes.
I'm coming out here with some things I learned in therapy. I'm
that's
sorry.
so good.
Yeah, right?
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that.
I like to try such small things. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let's start with the first thing. Steffi, how are you feeling? Are you happy at the moment? How would you rate your happiness right now from a 1 to 10, where 10 is the
10?
best, 1 is like I'm not happy.
8?
An 8? Nice.
I'm an 8 at the moment, yeah. Like I've been in dark places, not gonna lie, like a few months ago. Like everyone, obviously, with the whole pandemic, and you're just so isolated and whatever, blah blah. Don't want to talk
Winter
about it.
months.
But yes, that's that as well. Maybe in another episode we talk about that more. But I'm an 8 actually now. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with what's happening right now. I'm happy with myself right now.
Aw.
Like I'm just vibing. I don't know. I'm in a very good mood recently. Like the whole week was a lot, like a lot of work and a lot to do and stressy,
Mhm.
but it didn't kill my vibe. It was just like it made me happier, if I can say it that way. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I wake up. I just vibe to music. I share that with you on Instagram because
I
that's
see
what
that.
I
I
do.
love it. I love it.
Yeah, and that's what I do without the cam as well. I just literally just share it with you so I can maybe make someone vibe as well and feel like or think, hey, yeah, I'm gonna put on my banger now, my favorite song, and I'm just banging to it because that's what I need. Like, one thing that makes me very, very happy is just like loud music. Loud
Mhm.
music, my favorite songs, splashing like banging in the whole house. Like the whole house is vibrating. Nobody cares because our walls are very thick, gladly. But this is one thing that makes me very, very happy.
It's actually funny that you just bring up the music. Like I think it was just this week that I tweeted about it. So for the people that
You
know,
did it as well.
I did it as well.
Yes.
So I was alone for the last 10 days. Nathan, my boyfriend, just came back yesterday from a boot camp. So I had the house for me alone and the animals for 10 days. And I listen to a lot of music. So I have either my AirPods in all the time, or I have one of my 500 Bluetooth speakers running. So usually music everywhere. But weirdly, I was never a person that took the music with her into the bathroom, right? And obviously everybody of us knows from movies, TV shows, everywhere, everybody always sings in the shower, right? But for some reason I never did that. And then this week, for the very first time, I have like those water resistant speakers, like ultimate ear thingies. They're amazing, by the way. And I took one of those with me into the shower, blasted Adele, and freaking sang my heart out. And it was literally, it made me so happy. And I make this now every time I shower. I take my little speaker with me in the shower and hope to not wake up Nathan. I mean, I try to do it at night when he's awake. But this is a game changer, guys. If you have never put music on in the bathroom and actually belt it out, doesn't matter if you can sing or not. And don't worry, my voice is the worst when it comes to singing. but can really 10 out of 10 recommend. So what makes us happy? Music, our favorite music. What would you say is your
Yeah.
favorite type of music, Steffi?
I'm currently very into like funk rap-ish stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening a lot to like Harba and those kind. It's similar to what Corpse did, kinda, if you
Mm-hmm.
know like
Yeah.
the Corpse songs, but more rappy, like more than he did in his songs. But with this funky, also like funky beats and shit. Um, I really enjoyed that recently, and it also has like sometimes it has some like screaming elements in it, so kind of a little bit and goes a little bit into the like the metal direction.
So screamo wise a little bit.
Like softer, not the hardcore stuff.
Yeah, then it's screamo.
Um,
Screamo is
mhm,
like the emo music, so you have like clean vocals, but then there's like a part that is like
where they
screamed.
scream.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
something in
kind
that
of that.
direction.
Like this mixture. I listen to that a lot, and there's one song that was the song I put on like on my stories as well this week. I'm so obsessed with, and I need to listen to the song on my like stereo in the back, like on the big loudspeakers, like at least once a day, and just like dance through my whole apartment to it because it's so amazing. I
What is
love
it
it.
called, the song?
It's White Noise from Istasha.
Okay, you need to
It's a
send
pretty
that to
cool
me
one.
after a podcast. I
Mhm.
want to listen to it
Mhm.
again because I didn't really
Um,
put the attention,
the
you know,
sound.
on it,
Yeah, yeah.
especially when I watched your stories. Like I obviously saw you vibing, but I was distracted from you having a good time and couldn't focus on the song. Obviously.
Um, yeah, and that's what I do in the morning. Like I put on my favorite songs. Which kind of genre? It's that like funky rap trap stuff and
Mhm.
just throw some pop songs in between or metal. Like I like this like Pentakill brought out
Mhm.
this kind
Mhm.
of style, not too heavy, not too hardcore, but metal elements in it.
Mhm.
That's what I'm mostly listening to at
Oh,
the
yeah.
moment. And before that, I was like, I'm very into K-pop as well, guys. So my Spotify is super confused with my playlists because I literally have every single genre but Volksmusik in my in my
No
playlist, and
country
it's like,
music. Austrian
yeah,
country music. Austrian country music.
yeah,
Do you like
Austrian
normal
Austrian
country
country.
music? Do you like American country music?
Depends, yeah, depends on like the singer because there's a lot of cool singers with good voices
Sam
when
Hunt,
it
my
comes to the
dudes.
yeah.
I love
Mm-hmm.
Sam Hunt. Same for me, honestly, because you just said Pentakill. Like I just created, I think a week ago or something, my 2022 playlist. So I have
Mm-hmm.
like each year I make a new playlist on Spotify where I put
Mm-hmm.
like my favorite songs of the year, and I just open it to see through it. And actually, most of the songs are Riot Games
That's crazy.
songs. Like it's
Mm,
actually crazy how much good music they brought out.
yeah.
Like I think my favorite song right now is "Entertain Me" from Ilona Garcia. I think is her name. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure. That's the song for the people that don't know. That they released together with Neon, the new character
Oh,
in
that one.
Valorant. Yeah, that one is really good. It is so good. It literally runs all the time, and obviously stuff like "Die for You," the "Burn
Yeah.
It All Down."
Oh,
Also, a lot of TikTok music. You know, what should I say? I'm a 31-year-old is stuck on TikTok, and I'm like everybody else, just singing all the sounds all day. You know.
yeah.
So it's a mix of riot music, TikTok songs. Also, I realized because I never put on the charts, like never ever in the last 10 years did I listen to charts. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized because when I was in the shower, I put on actually charts because I was like, let's just see what's on the charts right now. And like, obviously, there's some Adele in there and stuff, right? But it was actually, I realized that all the TikTok songs are the charts. Or is it the
Yeah.
charts that makes it into TikTok or the other way?
Yeah.
Both, probably. But yeah, I
Yeah.
realized that. And obviously, I still listen to all of my classic stuff. Like, I listen to metal, to rock music. I like country music, stuff like Sam Hunt. I also like a lot of rap. My favorite artist is MGK. So yeah, music is definitely something that can make or break my mood. And obviously, I
Yeah.
think a lot of us also have the thing where when you're down, then you have like your emo playlist where you just like, or I at least have that. Like when I'm in my blues, when I'm in my feels, I need to put that one playlist in and need to feel sad for an hour.
You know what's funny? Like I always, when I'm sad, I want to have this playlist, but I never created one. I'm like, okay, I just want to drown in self pity right now.
Yeah,
And I want
exactly
to
that one.
listen to these songs and just cry even more because that's
Yeah,
how I feel
exactly.
right
You
now.
need that.
But I don't have this playlist. So it either then, at that point, when I'm super sad and I find one song I want to like cry to because I'm so,
You
what's
can
it called?
relate to
Like,
it, and
yeah,
then
and I'm just like, I'm such a poor girl and I need to
you
cry
drown in
now. And
self pity.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So if I'm at that point and I don't find a song that would like suit my emotion right now or fit my
mm-hmm.
emotion, I just get mad and then I listen to the badass songs like Eminem, um, so bad and shit, and just hype myself up and become the super like sassy badass bitch because I'm so mad and
That's
so sad.
amazing.
And then I'm like, bitch, no, you won't do that to me right now. I'm gonna be the person that gonna fuck you up. So I'm
Oh
listening
my god, it's amazing.
to these songs then
That's
because
good
I don't
though.
have a sad playlist
See, I have a playlist literally that's called only sad songs. And I think that's my best playlist because it's literally a mix out of like all the sad MGK songs, right? And like all the old emo music with like, I don't know, I Prevail, Bring Me the Horizon,
mm,
Prayers, Yellow Card, Blink 182, Nothing Nowhere, like everything that just basically sings about how sad the world is, right? So that
mm,
is my playlist that I drown into when I'm sad. We can, by the way, all of those playlists that we talked about, maybe we can put them in the
yeah,
info box of the YouTube video in
yeah,
case you're also so much into music as we are. I wrote it down right now, so I won't forget to put it into the info.
hmm, same.
So yeah, if you're watching on Spotify, you can just go over to our YouTube channel. It's just derps and burps, one word, and you're gonna be able to find it. And we're gonna have it everything linked in the info box. Yeah, I'm gonna just say it for me, my happiness right now. I think also I'm really really happy right now. I'm gonna be honest,
Mm-hmm.
same. Like I'm probably also an 8 out of 10. The only reason I'm not a 10 out of 10 right now is because I have a lot of work and a lot of stress, and I just talked to Steffi about it. Beginning of the year for especially content creators, it's a lot like the end of the year. So how you need to imagine is like the end of the year, the fourth quarter. Companies are often like, oh, we realize we still have budget for projects that we need to use, otherwise the money is gone, right?
Mm.
So they're like in the last 3 months, there's oh my god, we need to do most of the projects. So like those 3 months is super stressful, and then in the first quarter of the month, and also you start renegotiating the contracts for the next year, and then in the first quarter you also do that. So it's basically the last quarter of the year and the first quarter of the year is just like a bunch of meetings, a bunch of planning of projects, what's going on for the upcoming year, and that's basically me ever since I came back from the Christmas holidays. I think the most that I had of
Mm.
free time was like 2 hours or something in one piece. Like for example, today I woke up at 7. I took out the dog. I made breakfast. I downloaded, prepared everything for the stream today. I streamed till 6. I think till 6, yeah. And now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
6:50, and I'm sitting here with Steffi. We're recording the podcast. After the podcast, I have another call for one day shooting that I have tomorrow, and afterwards, after that call, I have another meeting with Steffi and Jess. So, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Hopefully at like around 10, and then tomorrow at 8 a.m. I have my shooting starting, so I need to get up at like 6.
Photo shooting, by the way.
No, video shoot. Actually,
Oh,
a
video
video
shoot,
shoot.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Just
not
add the
shooting
video
people
photo.
in video games. No, so it's a video shoot actually the whole day. So it's gonna be exhausting. But it's a really cool project that it's the classic influencer stuff. I can't tell yet what it's about, but you're gonna hear about it soon. No, but it's gonna be something really cool. That is also
Also, by the
something really positive for
sorry.
you guys. Sorry. Yeah.
Also, by the time this episode's coming out, you already did it. So maybe there's already some info out by
I don't
then.
think
By
yet.
that, or
I
is
don't.
it?
I
Oh
don't. I
no,
don't
no,
think.
no.
I don't think. Not yet. Not yet. I'm not really
Okay,
sure when it's gonna release and everything. We don't
okay.
really have a timetable for it yet, I think.
Okay, okay, okay,
But
okay.
yeah, so I would say if the stress wouldn't be there, if days would have 48 hours instead of 24, then it would be maybe a 10 out of 10. But currently really really happy. Like really have to say. It's like the small things,
Yeah.
to make a smooth transition. Steffi, what are the small things in life that make you happy?
Oh, that was
When you're
so good,
down.
Julia.
Ah, sorry.
Um,
Smooth. Smooth.
she's guys, this woman is so good with the transitioning. Like in the beginning, there was something as well when we talked, and she was just like coming back to the topics, and I'm like, oh, I'm creaming over this. She's so good at it. Okay. Um,
Thank you.
because
Thank
I
you.
can't do this. I'm so bad at this. I'm so happy Julia's doing this. I'm here for spitting out my thoughts and sharing my thoughts with
And the
you guys.
creativity, you do all the creative
And the
parts. See,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the thing. That's the thing with Steffi. Like we both have our strong points. Like Steffi is
yeah,
so
true.
creative, such a free spirit, honest. Like she has the clear vision. She sees from A to B. She doesn't get sidetracked or anything. And then there's me that's just like lost in the sauce with all the anxiety and all the stuff that I have to think about. But see, that's the good thing when you have like ADHD and when you overthink about basically everything. While you talking, I already in my head make out how I'm gonna make it like the next transition
That's
work.
crazy. It's crazy. Like I love how you do this, honestly. Big
Thank
love
you,
to
thank you,
Julia, guys.
thank you, thank you.
Small things. The small things in life that make me happy. The first thing I can think of is related to video games when I win my elo back. That's one thing because my brain, and I'm telling you that because it was very very intense, like very extreme with Overwatch. My
Oh yeah.
mental health was connected to my rank, guys, and it was not healthy at all. So I learned from it. I take things easier now. But one small thing that makes me happy is just like grinding elo in video games. Um, but beside that, IRL related, as we already said, in the morning when I just turn on my loudspeaker and listen to my music, I realize when I do that, my whole day is so much better. I literally go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and put on my favorite song, and I'm destroying the bathroom because I'm just s- vibing and dancing and jumping around in it, and that makes me so happy. So I already start with a very good mood in a very good day.
Aw.
Um, small things. Animals make me very happy because they love unconditionally. They don't judge
Mm.
you whenever you look at them. Whenever I go home to my family, to my mom's place, and see my dog literally
Aw, Emma.
hyperventilating when she sees me, it's like this is one of the best things for me because she loves me so much and she's so excited to see me, and I love her so much and I'm so excited to see
Aw.
her. Um, that's one thing. We can swap around, Juliet.
Yeah,
Say,
sure, sure.
I think you should like you do two things, and then I can come up with something again, so I can
Mm-hmm.
think. I
Sure.
need to. My brain
So
needs
so
to
the
think.
first thing that I wanna like give my 2 cents to, you know what's even better than gaining elo? It's when you're
What?
in, especially for you, I think as well. Our
Mm-hmm.
like all chat warrior. Do you know when you're like in a game and you're like losing? Guys, if you don't know, Steffi's our all chat warrior.
Okay.
She's
Let me
very
make
active
that
there.
clear. Let me make that clear.
Go
I
ahead,
do
go ahead.
not start fighting with someone if they don't attack me. I'm a very tolerant person until you start fucking with me. And then
True,
I'm
true,
losing
true,
my shit.
true,
And
true.
I'm not a person that says like I wish you cancer or die or go kill yourself. I'm the person that argues with facts. I'm gonna open up your what's it called? op.chichi telling you how bad your stats are for the last 10 games. And that's the reason why I flame you right now. The same happens to me. People do that to me as well. But in general, I'm more like argumenting with people, which doesn't make sense at all
Steffi
because they
is
will never
arguing
learn.
with idiots, is what she's
I'm
doing.
arguing a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm arguing a lot with
So it's
idiots.
funny. Anyway, what I
Yeah.
wanted to say, you know what's even better than gaining elo?
What?
When you're like losing a game and the enemy team is like writing like, "Oh my god, you're so bad, easiest game of my life, ha ha ha, go ff it." what is it? 11? How many minutes? 15.
FF15, yeah.
FF15. Blah, 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 whatever game, right? Go surrender. This game is over, and then you turn the game around and you poop on their heads, and then you just write like, "Where you at now, bitch?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is the one thing I want to add. So then talking about like small things that make me happy, I actually had to learn that small things that make me happy. I was always like an all or nothing kind of person. So either I get absolutely everything that I want and it makes me happy. I was never really a person that lives in the present. Also, again, bringing up therapy, guys. So you're going to hear a lot about me going to therapy. One of the things that I'm learning is living in the present. Exactly. So for the people that don't know, I suffered a lot from depression in the past. So what is depression? Depression is basically you live in the past most of the times. You drool or you cry and you think and obsess about things that happened in the past that you cannot change anymore, and you just dwell in it. And that paired with having ADHD and having a lot of anxiety, which means you live in the future and you worry about the future and what's going to happen, and you make up all the scenarios that could go wrong. I'm sure a few people can relate. Hopefully not too many. So yeah, I was always either living in the future or living in the past, and I never really had the actual focus on the present. So that's something that I've been focusing on the last year. And through that, I actually learned to be really, really thankful about small things. Doesn't matter if it makes me more happy on the daily, but also makes me feel more loved. So one of the books that I read, and we're going to talk a lot about books on here. One of the books that I read that changed my life is basically the 5 love languages. If you're in a relationship, if you have a problem with relationships with your parents, whatever it is, like it doesn't necessarily have to be a love relationship, it can be also a friendship. I really highly recommend, if you're feeling unloved, to read the book, The 5 Love Languages, sorry. It's a principle that there's 5 different languages or ways that people show love, and each person usually speaks around 1 to 2 languages. So it often happens that people in relationships have different ways of showing their love. So it can, for example, happen that your partner is showering you with love, but you don't speak the language, so you don't realize how much that person actually loves you. That is something that happened to me in my life. So a short overview. What are the 5 love languages? The first one, just so you have a slight idea, is first of all, words of affirmation. So that is when you say through words, I appreciate you, I love you, thank you that you do those things for me, whatever. Physical touch. So that can be everything from obviously showing sexually that you're attracted to your partner. That can be hugs. That can be on a daily basis. You just walk into the kitchen and you put your hand on the shoulder of your partner. Then you have gifts. That doesn't mean that you have to gift your partner every day something that is worth hundreds of euros. That can be also, you go in the grocery store and you see in the store the favorite snack of your partner and you bring them one home because you know that's gonna make your boyfriend or mom happy. And then the 5th one is quality time. What was it, the 5th one already? Yeah, quality time. So was it the 4th one? Wait, words,
physical,
words, gifts. Oh yeah, sorry. 4th one is what did I just say? Oh yeah, quality time. So basically it means that you give them your undivided attention. So like no, not being on the phone while you watch something, and so on and so on. And then the 5th one, which one did I miss? Words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time. Oh yeah, and acts of service. How could I forget that one? That's the one of my boyfriend, sorry. And acts of service. So some people cannot tell you, show you in a physical way that they love you. They do things for you. So let's say, Steffi, you have a really tough day, right? And Max knows that you still want to like clean the whole apartment. What is a person gonna do that has that kind of love language? They will help you clean the house without you asking. So they're gonna take out the trash. They will vacuum.
Amazing.
the living room. Those are the 5 love languages. So obviously now imagine me. I'm a person, words of affirmation, physical touch. So for me, it's all about hugging, I don't know, telling you that I love you, telling you how much I appreciate you. That's me, right? My boyfriend, on the other hand, is acts of service. So what is he doing? He knows if I have a tough day, he's gonna do things that make my life better. So he is emptying the dishwasher. He's bringing out the trash. He's taking the dog alone if he knows that I don't have the time for it. And now imagine me, idiot, feeling like he doesn't love me because he is not a person that tells you every single day that he loves you. So it turns out I read this book and I started writing down every single day everything that he does for me in his love language. And I found out that this man does every day something between 5 and 10, 15 things for me. And I never realized that because I was like, wow. I was so obsessing about that he never tells me those things that I never realized what he does for me. So sorry, that was again a deep dive into something. So through that, I learned to appreciate a lot that people do for me. So not only in my relationship, but also my parents, for example, people that I work with in the scene together, you know. And I think this book is really something that everybody should read, or you can also probably watch. There's a lot of like YouTube videos about how the 5 love languages work, where you can actually really learn that almost every person in your life that you have a relationship with will show you love, but you sometimes just don't understand how they do it. And that together with trying to live in the present is something. So obviously those kind of things, you know, when Nathan, when he knows I have a hard day, he supports me and does some things around the house. Those are things that really make me happy. Obviously my animals as well. And another thing is, I started when I take Mira out for walks, right? I usually have always been on my phone, or I would listen to an audiobook while I'm on a walk, or listen to music. I stopped doing that, and I tried to at least find 1 to 3 things on every walk that I think are beautiful or catch my attention in some way. So in winter, it's a little bit harder, you know, like it can be like, I don't know, a ray of sunshine that comes through a tree. Okay, that sounds really but in summer, you know, it can be a little flower. It can be like a cat that is sitting behind a fence that you wouldn't have seen because you would be too focused on your phone, or like a neighbor that's outside that like smiles at you, you know, those kind of things. Or another thing, smiles. It's a good thing. Do you know that smiles is contagious? So if you walk around and even if you don't want to say hi to people, if you just smile at them and they smile back at you, then they gotta give the smile to somebody else. Those are,
that's so cute.
Yeah, so that's the way I see it. Every time I smile at somebody, I feel like I give them the smile, and at some point they're gonna give it further to somebody else. Yeah. So that's the way I think about it. Yeah. And for you, Steffi, do you have some more that came up?
I just wanted to add something with you with the walkies. Because like I barely, when I walk, for example, or when I go out, which doesn't have happened that often recently, but when I go out, I always want to be like fully in the moment and like present, and I wanna acknowledge and recognize what's going on around me. So I barely, like when I walk to work, for example, or when I walk to work, I listen to music. But if I go, like if I decide to go on a walk, I do not listen to music or look at my phone because I wanna experience what's around me. So it's cool that you mentioned that with the flowers and everything. We talked about that like ages ago, I think.
Yeah,
when
I
you
think
told
so.
me the first time, like
when I read the book, like 1 or 2
Mhm.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I want to be in the moment, and I want to see those things when I go out. Like I'm wasting so much time on my phone for nothing instead of like having some quality time in my real world outside. So
You
I'm
miss a lot
almost
of
getting,
things if you don't.
yeah, you do. And I'm almost getting annoyed by myself when I put out my phone because I don't know, I'm so used to like many or multiple things happening at the same time.
Mm.
So sometimes I want to slow down again and focus on only this one thing I'm doing right now. And that's also like kind of what you learn with meditation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That
You,
you
I mean,
focus.
exactly. I mean, we're living in a world where you're so oversaturated,
Yeah, yeah,
and you're so bombarded with so many interactions and stimulations that we, or some of us,
yeah,
forgot how to appreciate like small things. See, and that's
yeah.
also again something that I think is so interesting with like the dynamic between the two of us, is that for you it's something so natural. Like you don't need to read any books or think about
Mm,
it or need somebody to tell you that. See, that's the thing with Steffi. Like she's naturally knows those kind of things. I don't know if you call it intuition or whatever. Like she just does those
mm.
things. And for me, it's like I need to learn about those things to be able to apply it to my life. So for me,
But
it's
the
so cool.
cool,
Like every time I
sorry.
come to you, sorry. Every time I come to you, I'm like, oh, Steffi, I read that book and I'm doing this and that. And you're like, yeah, that's so cool. I've been doing this as well. Like blah blah blah. And so it's so nice. Like you can
Yeah, it's
just
so
see.
cool because you remind me of these things that are almost like natural to me in my like normal day,
Hmm.
like during my day, like what I do, but I do not really acknowledge it anymore.
Hmm.
And then what happens then is, first of all, you give me, I don't know how all these things like are called in when you want to explain
Yeah, of course.
someone,
Yeah.
right?
There's no terms for
So
you because it's natural again.
yeah, and but at the same time you remind me of um acknowledge it again, and that this is a very important thing.
Hmm.
And that's so cool because to me it's sometimes it's, I take it not, I don't take it for granted, but it's great, I do sometimes, because that's how I react to things, or that's how
That's how
I
life works.
just,
Like you get just
that's how I am.
sidetracked. Yeah, you get just so busy with
Yeah.
things that you forget about simple
And
things
you
sometimes.
remind me of these things then
Oh.
again, and that I do these things already, but I need to remind myself that these things are very important as well. You know what I mean?
Aw.
Yeah.
That's so
So I'm
nice.
very grateful whenever you tell me about these things, because first of all, I get to know a term for it. Like I learn a lot when Julia comes to me and tells me she read about that or that, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I know this thing because I'm doing it, but I have no idea why or what it is. I'm
Mm.
just doing it, so I learn what kind of reaction that has, like action
Yeah.
and reaction.
Yeah.
Plus, you remind me of that these things are not something everyone is not able
Consciously
to do,
doing.
but
Yeah, or
consciously
consciously
doing.
doing. Yeah.
Yes, that's the correct term. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I think emotionally and spiritually, knowing that you just do things because they feel good or because
Mm,
they make you happy. Again, to come back to the
mm.
topic, where learning about it in an intellectual way and then applying that to your daily life is
Mm-hmm.
like that's kind of like the two ends that we are at, right? So for me, it's like I learn something intellectually to be able to apply it to my spiritual life, if
Mm-hmm.
you will, whatever. But it's like so cool to learn about all of those things. And honestly, for me, buying all those books is kind of in a way money that makes me happy.
And
And
that, guys,
then
leads
guys,
us to the next
oh my
point.
god. Oh, sorry.
I love this. That's amazing.
Those transitions are so cringe that are almost good again.
The thing is, we act like as if that was something super special. Everyone like who's doing these things, like that's their job, right? Like
Yeah, of
a
course.
moderator or whatever, or
Yeah.
broadcaster. But we're just like, dude, this is our third episode. We're so good with the transitions and everything. Oh, I love it.
So yeah,
So good.
one of the topics. So what I just tried to do, I just tried to transition into a new next topic, which is basically money makes you happy. Why I want to go into this already is because I think it's gonna be a big one, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's, I think it's a discussion and has been had multiple times by a lot of important people, a lot of unimportant people in this world. But I think you're here to hear our points of views. So, Steffi, what do you think? Do you think money can make you happy?
Um, temporarily, yes. Money, I see it like that. People always, like, for example, what I have experienced with people, when people are sad or drown in sadness, dwell, etc., they
Hmm.
think as soon as they would have money or more money or be rich, all their problems and sorrows are gone. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Because the problems are within you. Also,
Yep.
of course, some
I
problems
love that you
are
said that.
thank you. Some problems are money related because we all have to pay our bills. We all
Of
have
course.
to, like, buy food to eat. We have to pay our internet bill, whatever it is, right? We all have to do that because that's how our society works.
Mm.
Um, and when I was younger, I also, of course, worried about money because we never had much.
Mm.
We are just an average, like, normal family, but I have two more siblings. We were three children. My dad didn't earn much money because he was building the house back in the days, and my mom was working. um so obviously um money wasn't a big topic in our family because we didn't have much, but it was never a big one because money doesn't make you happy. That's what I, like, learned,
Yeah.
because the most important thing to me is happiness doesn't come from money. um and money cannot buy you happiness. It can, and that's what how I see it.
Hmm.
um it just numbs your pain for a while until
Yeah.
you realize it didn't remove it. It's the same like with painkillers. Painkillers take away your pain for 1 to 2 or 3 hours. Like, in that moment, they take away the pain. For you, like, you're numb, but the
Mm.
pain is not gone. The
Yeah.
pain is still in your body.
It
It's just
doesn't
you can't
take
feel
care
it
of the
anymore. It
root. It
blocks
just
it.
takes away
Exactly.
the effects, the side effects.
Exactly. And
Mm.
as soon as you not like as long as you don't clear your roots, the pain won't go away.
Yeah.
And
That's why people need to go to therapy. That's why you need
yeah,
to clear up your traumas that you have in your
yeah.
life. Like you can numb it with like overworking and like
Yeah,
trying to
a
get
lot
your
of
life
things.
together.
Yeah.
I mean, also the thing with, does money make you happy? Look at the how many really really rich people. Let's talk about like musicians that make tons of money. Think
Yeah.
about how many of those people can only function while having like a really really high substance abuse, for example. Like how
Yeah.
many of those people are drowning themselves in like drug abuse to numb their pain or to be able to uh come up with the next big song or the big hit. Like they need
Mm.
to feel sad to write this kind of music, right? Or
Pain
some
makes the
some
best
some at least.
content.
Like
Yeah.
there's so many interviews of so many great artists that say without without their drug of choice, they cannot be as creative as they are, or Adderall
Yeah.
or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I think if money would really make you happy, like seriously make you happy, there would not be people having such big issues. There would not
Yeah.
be suicides for people that are having that much money, and so on. I think as you already said, like obviously, I think money helps when you're in a good, or like when you're on a good path, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like if you
Mm.
are genuinely happy in a good place and you have money that you can do the things that you want in that moment that will even enhance your happiness, I think so,
Mm.
yes. But on the same hand, money alone will not make you happy, right? So let's say
No.
you have all the money in the world but you're not happy with the person that you are, or you're not happy with the place in the world that you are at, right? It
Mm.
won't change anything. As you say, like it's a medication. It will take away the symptoms, but it will not cure the root, right?
Yeah.
As you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
So I think we agree on that one. And what did I
I
want to
wanted to
say?
add something to that.
Hmm.
Fuck, what was it?
Was it something around the line with like, can money buy love or something like that, in that direction?
No, no, no. It was no. I forget. Maybe I'll
Maybe it
remember
comes
it
back
later.
later.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are also always like, oh yeah, it's easy to say for somebody that's like in a situation where, say, like obviously we're both in a situation where we live a comfortable life, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, everybody could have more money, we could have less money, whatever. But there's always a lot of people that say like they like really really poor. They're not sure if they can even afford their next meal or whatever it is. Like obviously, we're not in those kind of shoes, but I can tell you that in the last 9 years, like I was able to live from what I love to do as a job, and I had enough money to live comfortably and have money on the side, but I was still depressed. And the only way I
Mm.
was able to get through my depression and cure myself in a way, or again, like you will never be fully cured, but the way I made myself sit here today and say I'm a 8 out of 10 happy. If you would have asked me that like 4 years ago how happy I am, I would have told you like I'm a 4 out of 10 most of the days, I guess. Sometimes a 2 out of 10. And the only thing that really made me happy was to search the help, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago when I found like my first therapist that started recommending me to read books, and that's the thing that
Mm-hmm.
I found for me that helps me understand. Like I read so much about psychology and like self-help books and so on, and for me personally it's things like if I understand how the human mind works, why you
Mm-hmm.
feel certain ways, why you react in certain ways in certain situation, how other people react and so on, figure out what the root of the problem is, and then you start working on that. That's
Yeah.
the thing that actually helped me be happy. And I also have to say, if you think about it, the happier you are, at least for me personally, the happier I got in my life, the more successful I get.
Mm.
And I think when you're genuinely in a good place, obviously that's not gonna, you can be like, yeah, I'm happy, but I don't have the money, or I'm a happy person, but I'm not working in a job that I love, whatever. Like for me, from my point of view, I think if you're like on a good path, then and I believe in the law of attraction, right?
Mm.
So I think you attract the things that you put out in the world. So if you're positive,
Yeah.
if you're sending out the positive vibes are coming back. If you're just sitting there, yeah, but I don't have what I want and I'm unhappy and it's unfair and I don't other people have the things but I don't have those things, like then you're that's what you're attracting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're attracting the things that you put out. And again, that is something to make a transition again that I think is again something we talked about in I think both of the last episodes is the generational differences.
Mm. Yeah.
Um i- if I can say that from like the generations that my parents was or are and my grandparents, I feel like most of those people were often really really jealous and they couldn't be 100% truly happy for other people.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
I don't have like an exact example for it, but if I just think about, like, oh, those talks between neighbors, you're like, oh, have you seen our other neighbor? He's building a new fence, or he's like building a new pool or something like that. Whatever. Let's just make a scenario
Mm.
up, right? It's never like, oh, have you seen our neighbor Lisa is building a new pool? It's not like, wow, good for her. I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Yeah.
amazing. She's
Yeah.
gonna have such a good time. It would never be that talk. It would be like, oh, have you seen Lisa's building a new pool? I'm wondering where this money is coming from. Do you think she inherited some money? Like, I don't know. There must be something going on. Like it's always
Mm.
this kind of talks. I feel like instead of being happy for them, or like if somebody is successful, gets a promotion at work, or has
Yeah.
a good job, doesn't matter if it's in social media, whatever. Like there's always some kind of spite or jealousy uh in
A lot of
that.
people have that. Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
judgment.
exactly. And
Judgment is this is I could talk like days and weeks about how people, especially on the internet, but beside
yeah.
that, also in real life, judge others. And it's just, this is a topic that gets onto me like a
Hmm.
lot because I learned to not judge anyone for anything because I am fine with myself and I don't have to judge anyone to feel better.
Yeah.
because and also like it won't bring you happiness or anything. It won't. It doesn't do anything
Exactly.
to you but shit talk someone else, and that's not cool. But yeah, that's another topic. I think like
Yeah, but
judgment
it's a
is a
really good
part
one.
of happiness or a part of all this, because as soon as you stop judging others, and realize like you are the one, you have to make yourself happy, nobody else will. Some people can support you on your path and on your way, but you have to go this way, they can
Yeah,
only go it with you.
yeah,
And you don't have to judge anyone to feel better, or you won't be happy about all these things like
yeah.
jealousy, and that doesn't do anything but hurt yourself.
But don't you feel like that is changing? Like again, to come back to
I
like the
hope so.
generational differences. Like I feel like again, I don't know if it's just the tribe that we attract with our vibe kind of situation. You know, that we
Hmm.
surround ourselves with people that are not like this. That it
Obviously
feels
as well,
different.
yeah, I
Like
think
I think
so.
obviously it's that as well, but I feel like also it the mainstream kind of shifts more towards what's acceptable to do, if that makes sense. Like obviously
I hope so,
behind
yeah.
behind closed doors, like obviously there's
Mm.
still a lot of people that do those kind of things, but I feel at least publicly talking down on people is something. I mean, obviously there's still like the cancel culture. If somebody does something fucked up,
Yeah.
however you want to phrase that, like obviously
Mm.
they're like gone cancel culture style, right? But I
Mm.
think in general it goes more in a direction of you, it doesn't hurt yourself if you support somebody else, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like it's
Yeah.
better to uplift each other and help other people to get up where you are than just thinking like, oh, I use somebody as a step stool on you, you
Yeah.
know. So that's the one feeling that I have, that at least from what is acceptable and what is like the blueprint that you kind of want to have and put on other people,
Mhm.
is that you don't take anything from other people. You just support, or you shouldn't take anything from other people. You support each other, because in the moment you help somebody else,
Yeah, and make great
it's
things
not doing
together.
exactly
Yeah.
exactly. That's the way I think about it, at least.
Yeah, with the generational differences, I cannot really relate or like talk about anything in that like case or in that way, because I grew up like this. Like my family is so supportive and
Oh yeah, it's
open-minded
true. I
and
didn't thought about that.
not judging. Like my dad doesn't judge anyone on this planet. It's like you do you, honey boo. I accept what you do as long as you're fine with it. And that's my basically my whole family. All they want for me is to be happy. It's like
That is
it
so cool
doesn't
though.
matter what I do for a living or whatever makes me happy. The most important thing is that you're happy with what you're doing.
Mm.
Um, and I just got like speaking of that, because like work wise, for
Mhm.
example, like job wise,
Mhm.
it was Friday or Thursday, I think, and Max dad called us because he had a job offer for me.
Mhm.
In his like at his company, it's a very big company, and they basically not promote, but they basically teach other companies SAP, like the IT, like the program for
The IT
the
environment
IT program.
network.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Um, and they were searching, or they're still searching someone for the marketing area, because they wanna like completely revamp their web web appearance, social media, everything, right?
Mhm.
And they're very like mm, very conservative when it comes to that, because still like big company, but already like existing for ages, and now they want to step into these fields as well.
Mhm.
And his dad said like I was the first person that came to his mind, because I am
Aw.
literally doing this every day,
It's
and
so
that
nice
would be
though.
like yeah, it was I felt very flattered, because it's a very high position
Mhm.
in a very good company. And he said it would be worth gold if you were there, or if you worked there in that or as that person in that position.
Mhm.
And then I was like, he also said it's 40 plus hours a week, and you cannot really do anything aside anymore.
Mm.
So, and then I was like, okay, I need to think about it. And I'll let you know the next 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hung up, and I was sitting here and talking to Max, and there was so many like different thoughts in my head, because that would literally mean I had to give up everything I like achieved so far, and that would
Yeah.
literally mean I had to give up what I love and what makes me happy. And then, and like right now, I started crying in that moment when I thought about that.
Oh.
And it was so crazy because, you know, at some point, like on one hand, I feel like, okay, um this is a good job. I don't know how much I would have gotten or how much like this job would
Money.
have
Yeah.
offered.
Mm.
And I didn't care at all because it would have not made me happy. And I realized that, and I was talking to Max like, but yeah, I'm an adult. I should like sometimes think the adult way, because we need some more money as well,
Mm.
because we might move soon, blah blah blah. And then he
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know, we do not do anything just because of the money. And you literally just answered yourself that you don't want to have this job because you started crying just by thinking of quitting streaming and everything. And I was
Oh.
like, yeah, you're right, I can't. And I was so like, and that's when I realized, I cannot I cannot give this up. I cannot. This is literally my life. What we're doing here right now, what I'm doing on the internet, with all the different things I do. It's not. It ain't much, but it's honest work, right? So I'm like,
Oh.
I'm not getting rich, like through this or with this, and I'm not like, I can live, and
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Like the money I get, I'm so fine with it, and obviously, like
Mm.
I'm doing stuff aside and everything. But I'm super flexible with that because my bosses are like the other bosses from the work I do in summer are super chill, and they know what I'm doing, and they support me like 100% as well. And there's so many things like I could not give this up just for the money because I know it would not make me happy.
Yeah.
Um,
But just
and
knowing this, imagine there's not many people. Like a lot of people would feel like also the peer pressure kind of being like, oh yeah, society
mm,
expects you. You know, this
mm,
is for under quotation marks what would be the right thing to
choice,
do,
yeah,
right?
or thing to
Like,
do, yeah.
yeah, however you want to say that. But like,
Mm,
imagine how far you are in like your, how do you say, like in your own personality development, you
mm,
know. Like you could have gone down a road, say, like, let's say you accepted, you work there for a few years, you put in the hard work, you make the
mm,
money, you rise up in ranks, you have like a high position, you make money, you're like established, people have so much respect for you because you work in this high position,
mm,
whatever, would have, whatever. But then in the end, you would look in the mirror and you know that what you made before
mm,
made you so much more happy than this, even though on
yeah,
paper you're more successful, under
yeah,
quotation
yeah,
marks again.
yeah, yeah.
And can I just point one more thing out? Like
Mm-hmm.
you just said it as it would have been the most normal thing out there, right? But for me as a person looking from the outside in, having literally your boyfriend sitting there that his dad just made you this offer and just tell you like, you know, this doesn't make you happy, so you're not gonna take it, and he supports you with that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry that I make
Mm,
you cry right now, but but
you're
like
right,
that
yeah.
just shows how amazing of a choice you made with your partner as well. Because
Yeah,
who in the world would, like, first of all, not really undermine what his dad just offered you and just say it's
yeah,
okay, but be
yeah,
like, listen, I want you to be happy and you do
yeah.
whatever you want, and I see that just thinking about it makes you unhappy, so there's no way I'm gonna let you take that.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
true.
so that is like, for me, just from the outside looking in, like so amazing to see how great of a person Max is. So shout out
Oh,
here to
yeah.
Max.
Max, we love you.
Max, we love you. You're the cutest. What a
But that's
man.
also,
What a
yeah.
man.
I didn't. I didn't see it that way. I saw like I started talking about my problems with Max more again because it was hard for me the last 2 years. I don't know, for some reason I just stopped talking,
Mm-hmm.
and we started talking about our problem, not our problems in a relationship, but like problems that just belong to me, or like just my problems or just his
Mm-hmm.
problems, right? And that was another thing where we obviously talked about that,
Mm-hmm.
because his dad was calling me, and he um talked with me about this and how he sees it and his opinion and everything. And as you said, like I didn't realize, or like i I didn't realize it the way you like it is, before you said it.
Yeah.
And that's with the different generations again,
Mm-hmm.
to come back to that, because that's the thing with Max's dad, because he's still like one of these people. He's kind of like in the middle of both. He's
Mm-hmm.
on the one side, that's why I was afraid to say no, or not afraid, but I felt very uncomfortable to say no
Yeah.
then.
You didn't want to be
But
disrespectful in a way, right?
yeah, or disappointing. Like I
Yeah.
didn't want to disappoint him. And then Max said, no, you're not disappointing. You know, when you're disappointing my dad, when you hold him on the line and when you cannot clearly say yes or no, that's
Yeah.
what's disappointing then.
Or you
And
say
then
yes, and then you know you're not gonna be
exactly,
happy, and then you
exactly.
tell him a year later, listen, I'm not happy doing this, and then you.
Yeah, yeah. And then like the day after, on Friday, I called him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm so, I don't know what it is. I hate doing these things, but
Yeah, of
it's good
course.
that I did it.
Nobody wants to say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's very good that I did it, and keep getting forced into these situations, because I have to make decisions for myself, right?
Mm.
And I have to stand up for those decisions. Um, in order to be happy.
Mm.
So was good practice for me, because then we called him, and I was like, I feel so flattered, and I'm so honored that you thought of me for this position, but I have to be honest with you, I cannot take this job, because it would mean I have to give up everything I love, and it wouldn't make me happy. And then he said he totally understands that, and
Mm-hmm.
he's happy that I know that, and I should not give up the things I love. But on the other hand, also with the like generational,
Mm-hmm.
that's where you saw the generational difference, because he's still one of those people, or not those people, but
Maybe it's not really generation. Maybe for me, in my mind, it's generation, because for me, the way I see it from generation
mm-hmm,
to generation in my mind,
mm-hmm,
right? Just so
mm-hmm.
it looks like, my grandparents were really, how do you say that? What's
You
the
have to
word?
work
You have
somewhere.
to, you need
Conservative,
to
you mean, or
conservative. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
exactly. That's the word. So
mm-hmm,
so my grandparents were really, really conservative, and then you see like
mm-hmm,
the little change from like my grandparents to my parents, where I say, okay, they're still like this, but not as extreme as my
mm-hmm,
grandparents.
mm-hmm,
So maybe in my mind, it's like the generational thing, because in my mind, like the way I grew up and the way I was to
mm-hmm,
like, I always say that like till 2 years ago, but for me, it's like a new season of my life. Like, there's like this
mm-hmm.
trend everywhere where when you realize you're in a new season of your life, kind of, that makes sense, like in a TV show. But for me,
Mhm.
I feel like I lived two different lives, or like I'm living a new life where I because I was that kind of person as well. Like,
Mhm.
if 2 or 3 years ago you would have told me like, hey, I just declined this job, I would have been, Steffi, but why? Like, that, like, I get it that you would lose
Mhm.
like the streaming part, but I would be like, but you have to think about your future, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And
That's what he
now,
said as well.
yeah, exactly.
That's what
So,
I mean. Like he's in the middle. He's very like sometimes very conservative, but on the
yeah,
other hand, he also understands, because it doesn't make sense if you're not happy.
exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So and for me, that's the way I was, because I was raised that way. But because
Mhm.
I decided along down the road that I want to educate myself in, like,
Mhm.
I don't even know how do you say that, like, to just free up my mind in, like, being open to maybe other ways of thinking
Mhm.
that I was raised with,
Mhm.
because, like,
Mhm.
you can see it, let's say in religion or something like that, like, again, I don't really want to bring up the point of religion or politics or something in podcasts like
Mhm.
this ever, because it's just something that obviously there's always going to be different opinions. But, you know, like if you're a Christian, obviously people going to be like, they're not Christian. It's like, yeah, the Bible is wrong because obviously evolution, hello, dinosaurs, you know, that kind of thing. The Big Bang, hello. And then they're going to be like, but the Bible, you know, and you just ignore it because, you know, it's what you believe in. And so kind of going from just believing what you believe in because you got raised that way to like being open to looking at other ways of thinking. Yeah. I don't even know how to say it. So maybe it's not a generational thing, but maybe it's like a level of openness and understanding of
I'd say
people.
So.
Yeah. Maybe it's like an understanding of happiness, if you will.
Yeah, because I called my mom after I had a call like with Max dad, and I was like, we were talking about a few things, and then she was like, what's going on right now? We haven't heard from each other in a few days, and then I was like, I told her like what happened with Max dad, like he offered me the job and everything, and she was like, and then I told her what I said and that I declined it, and she was like, yeah, nah, why would you take it? You'd have to throw away everything you did so far. It wouldn't make sense. You're not happy then. Oh. And then I'm like, okay, Mama, thank you that you said it as well, because that was the last
approval kind of
approval I needed. Yes, because whenever, no matter what it is,
confirmation that you did that you made the right decision.
Yes.
100%. Like I absolutely agree. But that is so cool. See, but that's again, like we're coming back to the whole parent topic, but that is exactly that kind of parent that I want to be. And that's like, I always think about like, you know, who do you want to be as a person? Like I'm always thinking also like happiness for me is also making other people happy and making other people feel good, right? Yeah. So the way I'm thinking often when I don't know how to react in certain moments, or you know how to think about certain things, I often think about, okay, back in the day when I was in this in a similar situation, or when I didn't know what kind of person I was yet, and I was like stuck in my ways of thinking, I tried to think what person would I like to have to think to talk with right now. How would I want that person to react and talk with me in order to make me feel safe in, first of all, giving them the full and honest truth about how I feel and how I react and what are my thoughts there, right? Because let's say you go in a conversation like this with your mom, right? And you're not sure, like if you ever think like, oh my God, she's gonna judge me, she's gonna think that I made a wrong decision, she's gonna maybe be mad at me because, like, under quotation marks, I throw away my future, right? Like this. Then if you know you go in a conversation like this, you already will not tell the honest truth to your mother. You already like filter yourself in the way you talk, right? So the way I'm thinking is, I want to be a person that when somebody speaks with me, that they're that comfortable and feel so, we already say, Steffi and me have our favorite word, wertfrei. Like, I want to be as neutral as possible, and for the person to feel as comfortable as possible to be able to tell me whatever they truly think in the deepest detail without having the fear of being judged. In a way, you know, like, obviously
that's how it should be.
Exactly. And that is something that I think is so cool. Again, I tell it to you every time. It's so cool that you grew up in an environment like this, and that is exactly what I want to build. Not only for future children or whatever, but also for friends and like a community. You know, like, it doesn't mean that you can't have your own opinion, because obviously you're a person that has a really strong opinion and you tell the people your opinion as well, right? But you're also a person that can accept other people's ways of thinking, right?
Of course,
and that is one of the things that I think is the most beautiful things about you.
Oh, thank you. You're gonna make me cry again.
Oh no.
It's like,
Oh,
what do I
I'm sorry.
like? What do I gain from judging anyone? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
make me happier or feel better about myself if I talk down someone or whatever. Like, if you have your opinion and I have my opinion. Sometimes we share our opinions, or sometimes we clash together and we talk about it.
Yeah,
And that's the
exactly.
cool things. Like, that's the cool things about people being different. And just because someone has a different opinion doesn't mean you cannot be friends with them or accept them or whatever, like, relationship you're in with this person right now, even if it's just a stranger on the street. Like, okay, you have a different, like, if there's a little like argument going on or whatever,
Mm.
like, you can be so, what's the English, like, neutral. It's
Hmm.
like, I I'm literally in the middle of both, you know what I mean? Like,
You're the Swiss of
I'm trying to
opinions.
balance. Yeah,
I don't know. Do you say
I
that in
have my
English? Yeah,
opinions,
yeah, of course, but you don't have
but
to push it on people.
yeah. And sometimes I do in video games because I argue with people, which is fine. That's the only, like, this is the only environment where I do that, because this is basically where I, like, vent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Sometimes I
your.
argue with them.
That's like where the steam comes out.
Yes, exactly. But other than that, in real life, why would I ever judge? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, of course, if you want my opinion on something, I'm trying to be, or I am just still as neutral as I can, because, first of all, I don't know the person. If you tell me about someone, of course, if there's like, my Julia is coming to me and someone has like insulted her or harassed her, like, and she's crying and said, I'm like mad then, of course, and I'm like supporting her in that moment. But
Hmm.
that the other person that did that, for example, is not even worth anything, you know what I mean, to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
After, I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah,
it's
but
it's a hard
I
it's a
know
hard
what
one.
you mean, and for me, it's also like, especially like, if you have arguments, like whatever you just explained, like stuff like that would always get me so mad and emotional. But now
Yeah.
I'm always thinking also about like, you never see the whole picture, whenever you have like an argument
Yeah,
with another person, you don't know what they've been through. Doesn't matter if it was in a day,
exactly.
in their life, whatever triggered them. Like,
Yeah.
if people are bringing hate towards you, or like attacking you, or whatever it is, right? You you never see the whole picture. You don't know why that
Mm.
person feels like that. There are people that have such deep rooted traumas that they feel so trapped that
Mm.
they just explode in a direction like this as well, right? So
Yeah.
for me, it's even like, I'm now at the point that when somebody is really being mean towards me, I often don't even feel attacked anymore. I just want to, I'm going to be like, what happened to you? Who hurt you?
Yes.
I
Who
want
hurt
to,
you?
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Like,
I hope you can heal from whatever happened to you. It
exactly.
is not me you're mad at. It's you.
Exactly.
Oh,
You're
so
just
good.
like, you're just mirroring um
Mhm.
your feelings onto other people, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, dude, that went deep today.
Again.
Imagine them thinking the first episode was deep, and then they're gonna listen to this and
Honey,
go,
you
oh
haven't seen
Lord,
us. You haven't,
oh Lord.
how to say, you haven't even unleashed our final forms or seen our final forms yet.
Exactly, exactly.
Just saying.
But I think we're at the good point again. We're like at
Hmm.
1 hour 10. So let's maybe just sum up what makes us happy. So first of all, obviously music,
Yeah.
right? Lifting up others, being there for
Yeah.
other people, animals,
Animals, yes.
feeling.
Also, what makes me happy, sorry to
Mm-hmm.
say,
Sure.
no matter, rain makes me very happy for some reason. Whenever
The
there's a
small
fucking
things in life.
storm, yes, the small things, going outside, I'm so happy. And I'm also happy about sunny days. It's like the small things in life. Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. You will never appreciate the sun if you can't
If there
appreciate the
wasn't
darkest
rain.
nights. If there
Exactly.
wasn't the darkness of the night. And
Exactly.
food. We can't forget food. Food makes me really happy. Good food.
Popcorn makes me, alcohol makes me happy as well sometimes. It's just good. What shall I say?
See, you have the alcohol. I have the food. Food is
Yeah.
my guilty pleasure.
Minus alcohol. I'm not drinking a lot, guys, but I
So you
do
make
enjoy it
yourself
whenever
sound
I
like
do.
a little.
No, I'm
No,
not.
Steffi's good with it. Don't you worry about it. She knows. But yeah, I think that sums it up. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Again, don't forget to also leave the second comment now. Maybe something small that you haven't noticed. Yeah, exactly. Don't forget to leave this. And don't miss next week's episode. We haven't recorded it yet, but I can already tell you this one
Gonna be juicy.
Relationships, love, a Valentine's edition. Oof, I'm already sweating about.
Julia is so.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a good one. But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you so much. You know where to find us on our socials, and we here.
Derps'nburps, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. If you don't want to watch on YouTube, maybe, or have like Instagram, feel free. We always post our episode as well, like a little thumbnail or a little pic, we make a post with the episode. You can also comment there if you want, guys. If you have Instagram
Good idea.
and want to hop into YouTube, for example.
Good idea. We have all the variety out there.
Yes,
so
yes.
we hear you again next week on Monday. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow, subscribe everywhere, and have a beautiful start of your week. Bye.
Bye-chan.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Derps and Burps podcast.
If you enjoyed it, make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram at derps'nburps. See you online.